If you look at the center of the factory torsion tube, you'll find a 4-inch area that is splined, and it's where the ends of the torsion bars fit into. This new adjuster replaces that section, and both ends of bars will fit inside their new splined adjustable fingers. Adjustment is made by moving the fingers up or down by way of fine thread adjusting screws. First, drill 4 locating holes in the corners of the tube collector on the yoke, because you'll use those holes to relocate the same part later. So try not to mutilate it while removing it. A wide face chisel with a sharp edge is preferred over a small width one because there's less chance of damaging the tube collector. This is what the yoke area looks like without the collector. Make a small jig to locate the transmission's nose cone mount before it is removed. You'll need it later. For reference, the new 4-inch wide adjuster will fit into the chassis torsion tube here. This photo only represents relative width of the part and not its correct mounting orientation. The area between the 2 factory welds on either side of the center of the torsion tube is a little over 7 inches. The center of the tube is then marked, and then another mark to the left and right of center, a bit less than 2 inches off center, will allow for gradual expansion of the hole to the correct width, rather than cutting a hole too big at the onset. The part's width is double-checked against the marks. The first cuts are made inside of the location marks to ensure not too much material will be removed. For areas the cut-off wheels can't reach, a fine-tooth reciprocating saw blade makes quick work of the tube. For 1972 and older chassis, an air chisel is used here, and the edges of the leftover factory tubing are bent back and removed from the torsion tube. A grinding disc is used on the ends of the torsion tube to even out the edges. The edge of the adjuster is used to mark the cut lines. Washburns will gradually widen the opening for the adjuster by cutting away a little bit at a time inside the marks. First fitment shows at least another inch needs to be removed from the hole's overall length. Correct fitment is achieved, and the tighter you can make the gap between the chassis and the adjuster is the goal. To be able to access areas of the tube that will need to be welded, 2 small angle sections are removed from either side of the hole. Keep these pieces to be reinstalled later. For better weld penetration, the adjuster's edge is beveled with a stationary belt sander. After checking for square, the chassis is flipped multiple times during the welding phase, so the new center of the torsion tube can be fully welded all the way around. Reassembly can begin by taking in the angled pan pieces cut off earlier. Still on the underside of the pan, the final weld and grinding of the angled pieces is done. Note the adjuster is at an equal height in relation to the yoke area of the pan. A heavy weld is done across the leading edge of the adjuster due to a large gap that is inherent in the part's design. Flipped right side up, the chassis reveals a thick portion of the adjuster that will be addressed next. Because they've completed hundreds of these installations, Washburns discovered that a portion of the adjuster needs to be ground, so the shift rod and trans coupler can operate without any interference. A little over 10 millimeters of material is removed. The sheet metal screws that were added to hold the tube collector are removed and the holes filled. Washburn's metal uses their jig to relocate the new transmission mount to its correct location. Viewed from the underside of the pan, the final welding of the adjuster and transmission mount can be seen here. After painting the work area, you have to look closely to tell if anything was modified, but in reality, a major improvement as to how you adjust your car's ride height is the result. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to check like and subscribe if you liked the video, and be sure to check out both Washburn's metal, as well as Washburn chassis posts on our YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram pages for more how-to videos and project updates.